Kino Recaps presenting The Secret Kingdom. Spoiler ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie starts, and an announcement told that years ago, there was a world below our world. Not ordinary, but a magical world. These worlds were connected to each other. One was the upper world, while the other was called the lower world. There was a king who ruled both worlds with great ease, but he often thought of things in his imagination, meaning he thought of things that did not even exist in his own way because he used to derive happiness from such things. But then one day, the king was sad because of this. He took a lot of trouble and could not rule both his worlds. Because of this, they started to separate from each other. Now the lower world, the magical world, also felt the pain of the king and began to settle inside. Because of this, a black shadow was born here. As it spread, it grew up and became a monster named Shroud. He then destroyed this world and turned this magical world into a black world and separated it from our world forever. After that, the story comes to the present time. Here, a boy named Peter was going to a new house with his mom, dad, and sister. Here, we notice that Peter is always nervous because he is afraid of the things around him. The reason is also that he used to imagine even the smallest things a lot, which was the cause of his trouble. If we talk about Peter's sister, she was completely different from her brother, always happy and always thinking good. She doesn't live in the imagination and takes everything positively. Now, these people have started shifting things and living here. The next day, Peter's sister went to a general store while playing, and he also goes behind her. In this store, there were strange colored things lying around, which were also looking expensive. But in all this, Peter liked a puzzle cube very much, meaning a cube on which the puzzle had to be solved. Now that magic was a cube, but Peter does not discover this. He bought it and brought it home. When Peter was going to sleep at night, his mom gave him a compass as a gift, which is actually to tell about the roads. His mom says this was your grandfather's. He had said to gift this to Peter when he grows up a little. So now he comes to his room with this compass and starts solving the puzzle of that cube. In the meantime, his sister came here, who asks Peter for the puzzle cube and says, "Give it to me, and take some coins from me in return." She was about to take out that coin and give it to Peter when, at that time, a coin fell down from the hole in the floor. Because the floor was made of wood, as Peter went to pick up that coin in that hole, he saw a big eye of an animal. Due to this, he got scared and immediately moved back. Before he could understand anything, his room started breaking. Rifts began to appear on the walls, and the floor also started breaking. The next moment, all the stuff in the room also started flying in the air. Even the bed on which his sister was sitting, and then their stuff in bed started falling down. By then, Peter had also jumped on the bed. Actually, a way had opened up to solve Peter's puzzle. Due to it, they came down, which was the same world as years ago. As the bed fell in front, a lot of strange creatures came here and dragged the bed, and started taking them away from here. Actually, they were doing all this to save their lives because the monster Shroud had found out that they had come here, which could have come here to kill them at any time. Now all these creatures bring them to another place, and then they pass through the bridge and come across it. After doing this, they break this bridge so that the monster does not follow them here. Now all the creatures bring them to a cave. The children were looking around carefully. They were also surprised at what was happening to them. That's when the head of the creatures came here, who got angry upon seeing them here, because they are human beings and their presence isn't less than any danger. Hearing this, an old creature comes forward and says, "Don't get angry," and tells everyone that it is not a coincidence that Peter and his sister came here. But years ago, this prediction was made to the patient that these two children would come here, and Peter, who will be the king here, will save this world and all of us from Shroud and will fix this world as it was before. Because Peter is the murderer of the king here years ago, and by telling this, the old creature brought them inside the cave and showed them the prediction written on the wall. There was a drawing of Peter and his sister. In addition to this, there were many other pictures made there showing all this. The old creature told them about the past here, how a king used to rule over both worlds years ago, who was your elder. But due to sorrow, the monster Shroud was born here because of the black shadow, and this world was separated. Because of this, the clock kept here broke, which was the only time-telling clock. Likewise, the time stopped. Now according to the prediction, Peter will have to start this clock again. For this, Peter will have to find some more magical puzzle cubes and have to solve them. After it, he will get a key, and with its help, he will be able to run the clock. Due to this, now Peter and his sister also understand that if they want to get out of this world, then they will have to solve these puzzles first. Now to find the next puzzle cube, the old creature gives a book to Peter, but this whole book was empty. The old creature tells that this is a magical book, and the educated creature here, who is actually a mechanic, can read it. So now, you have to go to that mechanic creature. Hearing this, their head agreed to take him to him. The old creature's son was also going with them, named Pling, but the head and Pling started arguing while leaving, because both did not trust each other. But hearing their quarrel, Shroud came here and attacked them. Due to it, they ran away, but Peter, his sister, and Pling fell down a lot, and now they come out of that cave. They discovered that they were lost, but then Pling gave the compass in Peter's hand and said, "This shows the way, let's use it." They used it and finally reached the mechanic, who was repairing a lot of wheeled machines at this time, which were a whole statue. They asked for help from him. On it, the mechanic said, "I am busy now, you go and come back sometime." But Pling said, "My dad has sent me." Now hearing this, the mechanic agreed to help them and came out immediately. He took the puzzle from Peter, and as he put it on the book, at that time, lines were written on the book, pictures and maps were made. It was also written where the next puzzle was, and the way was also made. The mechanic creature told them that when you solve a puzzle, you will know through this book where the next puzzle is. The whole way must have been written. After telling all this, he gave Peter a small device and said, "By this, you can contact me anytime." That's when Peter's compass started glowing, and the compass's arrow started moving towards one side, on which a paper was visible in front. Pling tells that this is not paper, it's actually a sky. It's a trap, but there's a passage from one side, so we'll go through it. The mechanic creature also tells that it is a sky world. You have to cross it to get out of it. You have to see it. If the stars are shining in the sky, then it's safe, but if they aren't, then it's risky. Hearing this, they saw the sky and the stars were shining, so they decided to go. Then Pling, Peter, and his sister move forward from there. While crossing the sky, they reach a castle, where they face another challenge. But the story doesn't end here. As they keep solving the puzzles, they face many more challenges and mysteries, which eventually lead them to the ultimate showdown with the monster Shroud. Do they manage to defeat the monster, fix the clock, and return to their own world? That's something you'll have to find out in the thrilling conclusion of this magical adventure. He quickly hides behind a pillar, but then he remembers something about the mechanic creature, that he is a king and a king should be brave. He should be able to control his fear, recognize his powers, and use them. Thinking this, Peter comes in front of the dragon with a lot of courage and says, "Look, I have a puzzle cube here, and I am the king here." Hearing this, the dragon bows in front of Peter. It bows its head and also apologizes, saying, "Please forgive me, I did not know." The dragon also tells him that it can take any form. Hearing this, Peter says, "Then it's okay, take us to the next puzzle cube place, which is actually a temple made in the desert." So now, the dragon changes its body a little and makes it of iron, which was the upper part of it, because it had made this seat for these three. Now it comes near that temple, taking Peter, his sister, and Pling, where there were a lot of statues of creatures here, which were all soldiers' creatures. All were made of stone, although earlier everyone was alive and was in good health. Because of the attack of Shroud, they became stones. Now they come inside the temple, where they find a two-headed tortoise, which was actually two but were joined together. They knew that Peter was the king here, so they start talking to him, but he starts getting angry at them, saying, "Why are you talking so much? Don't waste my time, I have to find the puzzle." Now Peter's sister didn't like his behavior, and she was stopping him from doing this. But these siblings had an argument about this. Then his sister gets angry and comes out of there. After it, Peter started looking at the temple, and there were a lot of pictures made. There were 4 or 5 stones on one wall, and some pictures were made on them too. Now the puzzle was in a code. According to those codes, Peter turns those stones by touching them. Now he turned all the stones like this and solved this puzzle. As this happened, this wall started opening because this was also a secret way in which he gets the next puzzle cube. Now before this, he kept this cube on the book to find out the next puzzle cube. He started hearing his sister scream from outside. When he went to check outside, he sees that the army of Shroud has caught his sister and the dragon, which was a big army, and all these were robot machines. The leader of the army says to Peter, "Quietly hand over this puzzle cube to us," but Peter clearly refuses, saying, "No, anyway my work is incomplete. I couldn't find all the puzzles." Now the leader got angry after hearing this refusal. That's why he started hitting Peter and attacked them while asking his people. Seeing this, the dragon also becomes furious, and now, with the help of its strength, it increases its size, and now started killing these soldiers. Its size was so big that all these looked like children in front of it, and it kept crushing them like ants. Here they had a big fight. Then Peter uses his brain here and finishes this whole army with the help of the device given by the mechanic in a snap. But during this fight, a soldier attacked Peter's sister, and because he was a soldier of Shroud, that's why his sister started changing into stone. And now there was only one way to fix his sister, and that was to defeat Shroud. For this, they have to run that clock again, which stopped years ago, and because now they had less time, so they leave to find the next puzzle cube. which will be their last puzzle cube, and its location was on top of a mountain, meaning it will be found there. When they reach there, the tortoise says, "I think I have come here before, but I don't remember when." During this, his sister started to get sick because now she became more stone. Seeing this, Peter started to worry about her. He leaves the tortoise and the dragon with his sister. He goes to find the puzzle cube with Pling. He comes inside and solves the puzzle, but when he goes to the puzzle place, he was quite surprised because it wasn't there. Someone had already taken the puzzle cube from there. Seeing this, Peter felt bad, and he gets disappointed and comes out. Now his sister had completely turned into stone. He became sad to see this. He was also getting angry. That's why he throws the magic book given by the old creature down, because now he had lost faith in all this. He feels that I will not be able to do anything right, and now the tortoise remembers when did it come here. It says, "Peter, when I came here, I took the last cube from there, so that Shroud will not take it. I have it." Saying this, it gives the last cube to Peter, with which Peter was happy because now all the puzzle cubes had come. But he gets sad because now they don't have a book as he had thrown it down. He starts crying at how stupid he was, but then the dragon, who could fly, calms him down and goes down to find the book. It was found soon. With it, it comes back. Peter keeps it on the book, with which he came to know that to run the clock, the key he would have needed. To get that key, they will have to go to a tower, which is a clock tower. So now, even though Peter does not want to, he goes to the clock tower with the dragon, leaving his sister's idol there. He goes inside and sees a lot of big magic gloves. These were the places that were protecting the tower and did not let anyone go ahead apart from the king. Now, as Peter and his companions started moving ahead, the gloves stopped them. On it, the dragon says, "Do not stop us. Let us go because Peter is the next king." The gloves say, "Okay, so this is the thing. Let's agree. But if Peter is the king, then he will have to show his powers." Now hearing this, Peter starts thinking about what to do because apparently he did not have any special power, but there was a game with hands and fingers in which he was skilled, so to play him, he challenges the gloves that now let's play the game, in which Peter won, and this time the gloves got angry, saying, "Why did we lose?" Now they started attacking Peter. Seeing this, he remembered the same bulb device that the mechanic gave him. Peter orders it to attack all of them and break them, destroy them. The bulb device does this, attacks the gloves, and breaks them. It broke into many pieces. Like this, everything is destroyed. After it, Peter gets the key to the clock with the help of the puzzles. But the Pling also changes into a stone, by which Peter understood here that Shroud is none else but the dragon, who for so long was helping Peter to get the key. It was with him everywhere. It was Shroud in the form of a dragon. Now, because his real thing came to the front, that's why he changes from the dragon and comes in the form of his real Shroud. Now Peter understood that the story, which is about the Shroud and King, who fought earlier in the story, were enemies of each other because the Shroud took everything, but the King had defeated it, and now he had come back. The story was made about both of them. That's why the Shroud wanted to take the key. But now Peter took the help of the puzzle cubes and defeated it, and then he defeated the Shroud with the help of the bulb device and killed him. Then after it, he started the clock again with the help of the key, with which the attack of the Shroud was over, and the world started to be okay. But here everyone became okay. But Peter's sister, who was stone, was not okay, so he took the help of the mechanic to make her okay. After it, everyone becomes good here. The world starts to be happy. Now the mechanic gives him the chair, saying, "Take it with you. I have made it for you," by which Peter was quite happy. Now, to run the world, Peter was made king, and everyone became happy, and everyone started living in happiness. With this, the movie ends. Thanks for watching. Subscribe us for more videos.